Namaste, and once again welcome back to another session of online mathematics class. Today we shall discuss a new chapter, complex numbers and quadratic equations. We all know quadratic equation, and the standard form of quadratic equation is what? Ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. And last year we have discussed how to solve a quadratic equation. And we know the term discriminant of a quadratic equation. What is called a discriminant of a quadratic equation? So in a quadratic equation, b square minus 4ac is called what? Discriminant of a quadratic equation. And by using the value of the discriminant, we define the nature of roots of a quadratic equation. Okay, if b square minus 4ac equal to 0, what? Two equal real roots. And if b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, what happened? Two distinct real roots. And if b square minus 4ac is less than 0, there will be no real roots. So here we can start with the last condition, b square minus 4ac is less than 0. Let us consider one quadratic equation, 2x square plus x plus 1 equal to 0. Here we can write the values of a, b and c. A equal to 2, b equal to 1, c equal to 1. And while finding b square minus 4ac, we will get 1 square minus 4 into 2 into 1. That is 1 minus 8, which gives minus 7. Clearly it is less than 0. And b square minus 4ac is less than 0, which implies what? There will be no real roots. Okay, our conclusion is no real roots. It is not no roots, no real roots. Okay, that means there may be roots other than real roots. Okay, so here let us take the quadratic formula, x equal to minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. And if we put the values here, minus b, that is minus 1 plus or minus root minus 7 divided by 2 into 2. Okay, that is minus 1 plus or minus root minus 7 divided by 4. Here the problem is, inside the radical sign we get a negative number. That's why we conclude that there will be no real roots. Clear? Here root of minus 7. We know that no negative number can be the square of any number. No negative number can be the square of any real number. Okay, that means in the set of real numbers, we can't find the solution of this quadratic equation. Okay, here we can reduce this problem. Here root of minus 7. Root of minus 7 can be written as root of 7 into minus 1. And this can be rewritten as root 7 into root minus 1. Okay. And what if it is root of minus 25? This can be written as root of 25 into minus 1. That is root 25 into root minus 1. Root 25 is 5. 5 into root minus 1. Okay. And if it is root of minus 3, this can be written as root of 3 into minus 1, and which is equal to root 3 into root of minus 1. So here the problem is, we should know the value of root minus 1. Then only we can solve the equation. Root of minus 1. If there is any value for root minus 1, then we can easily find the answer. Clearly we can say in the set of real numbers, we can't find the solution of root minus 1. There is no real number satisfying the condition x equal to root minus 1. Okay, there is no real value. So here the new number system occur. It is known as complex numbers. Complex numbers. There may be numbers other than real numbers. Okay, these numbers are called what? Complex numbers. So in order to define complex numbers, first we have to define the value of root minus 1. Here root minus 1 can be taken as the symbol I. Okay, it is an imaginary number. I is an imaginary number. Okay, so let it be. So if we take the value of root minus 1 as I, then we can easily find the solution of the equations such that b square minus 4ac is less than 0. Okay, that means in the set of complex numbers, we can find the solution of this type of equations. How can we solve these type of equations? Just we can write one more step to complete this solution. Minus 1 plus or minus root of 7i. Instead of root minus 7, what we can write? Root 7i. Thus minus sign we can change it as I, because root minus 1 is equal to what? I divided by 4. Here also this can be written as root 3i. That is root of minus 3 will be equal to root 3i. And root of minus 25 can be written as 5i. Here root of minus 7 can be written as root 7i, and so on. Okay, so the value of root minus 1, we take an imaginary number and it is denoted by the symbol I. Okay, now we can define a complex number. A number of the form a plus ib. A number of the form a plus ib where a comma b are real numbers is defined to be a complex number. Okay, normally complex numbers are denoted by z. Z is equal to a plus ib where a comma b are real numbers. Here a is called the real part. A is called the real part of z and b is called the imaginary part of z. Okay, a real part of z is denoted by re, then leave a space and write z. Re and the imaginary part of z is denoted by imz. Let us consider an example. Z is equal to some 3 plus 2i. Here the real part of z is 3 and the imaginary part of z is what? 2. And we take one more, and if we consider one more example, z is equal to some 6 minus 8i. Here also we can write real part and imaginary part. Rez is equal to 6 and imaginary part of z is equal to what? Minus 8. Okay, this is about the definition of complex number. So a number of the form z is equal to a plus ib where a comma b are real numbers is defined to be a complex number where a is called the real part of z and it is denoted by rez and b is called the imaginary part of z and it is denoted by imz. Clear? Now we shall discuss the equality of two complex numbers. When we can say two complex numbers are equal. Equality of two complex numbers. Let us take two complex numbers. Z1 is equal to a plus ib and Z2 is equal to c plus id. These two complex numbers Z1 and Z2 are said to be equal if their corresponding real parts are equal and the corresponding imaginary parts are also equal. So if A is equal to C and B is equal to D. Okay. For example, if x plus iy is equal to some 3 minus 2i, then x is equal to 3 and y is equal to what? Here minus 2. Okay. So in this way we can find the values of x and y when we are given two complex numbers are equal. So two complex numbers are said to be equal if their corresponding real parts are equal and their corresponding imaginary parts are also equal. Clear? Now we shall discuss the algebra of complex numbers. Algebra means the different operation, 4 operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Okay, so first of all we can discuss addition. How can we add two complex numbers? Let us consider two complex numbers. Z1 is equal to a plus ib and Z2 is equal to c plus id. Z1 plus Z2 is equal to a plus ib then plus c plus id. The rule is we have to add the real part and imaginary part separately. Okay. So here the real part is a and in the second one the real part is c. So we can add these two parts, a plus c, real part. Okay. Then plus ib plus id. Okay, imaginary part, ib and id. I is common, so we can write I into b plus d. Okay, so this is about addition of two complex numbers. It's very simple. We can take one example. Z1 is equal to some 2 plus 3i and Z2 is equal to 4 minus 2i. And while finding Z1 plus Z2, we have to add 2 plus 4, 6. And 3i plus minus 2i, it is 1i or I. Okay, so we can easily find the sum of two complex numbers in such a way. Clear? Now we have different properties for addition of complex numbers that we can discuss. First one is the closure law. So if Z1 and Z2 are any two complex numbers, then Z1 plus Z2 is again a complex number. That is what is called a closure property or closure law. That means the sum of two complex numbers is again a complex number. This property is known as closure law or closure property. Okay. And the second one is the commutative law. Commutative law states that if Z1 and Z2 are any two complex numbers, then Z1 plus Z2 equal to Z2 plus Z1. For any two complex numbers Z1 and Z2, we can write Z1 plus Z2 is equal to Z2 plus Z1. Or we can say in another way, two complex numbers can be added in any order. I repeat, two complex numbers can be added in any order. And the third one is the associative law or the associative property. Associative law. For any three complex numbers Z1, Z2 and Z3, Z1 plus Z2 then plus Z3 will be equal to Z1 plus Z2 plus Z3. That means we can add three complex numbers in any order. Three complex numbers can be added in any order. Okay. For any three complex numbers Z1, Z2 and Z3, Z1 plus Z2 plus Z3 will be equal to Z1 plus Z2 plus Z3. Clear? And the fourth one is the existence of additive identity. The existence of additive identity or the identity element. So the number 0 plus I0 or simply we can say 0. The number 0 plus I0 is called the additive identity or the identity element in addition for the set of complex numbers such that for every complex number Z plus 0 gives Z. So the number 0, that is 0 plus I0 is called what? Additive identity or the zero complex number. Okay, additive identity or we can say the zero complex number. Clear? And the fifth one is the existence of additive inverse. The existence of additive inverse. So the number minus z is known as the additive inverse of the complex number z because it satisfies the condition z plus minus z is equal to 0. So the number minus z we can say what? If z is equal to a plus ib, z is equal to a plus ib, then minus z means minus a minus ib. Okay, so this number is known as the additive inverse of z because it satisfies the condition z plus minus z is equal to 0. When we add these two numbers, we will get the additive identity. Okay, 0 means the additive identity. So in this case, we can say minus z is the additive inverse or the negative of z. Okay, so these are the properties of addition of complex numbers. Okay. Next is difference of two complex numbers. Let us consider two complex numbers z1 and z2, and z1 minus z2 can be written as z1 plus minus z2. Okay, so this negative sign we can change it into positive by writing this one z1 plus additive inverse of what z2, that is minus z2. Okay, for example, z1 is equal to 3 minus 2i and z2 is equal to 5 minus 6i. And here if we want to find z1 minus z2, then we can write z1 plus minus z2. That is 3 minus 2i plus minus of this one, that is minus 5 plus 6i. Now we can add 3 plus minus 5 minus 2 minus 2i plus 6i plus 4i. Okay, so this is about difference of two complex numbers. Here there is no property related to difference of two complex numbers. Now we can discuss multiplication of two complex numbers. Okay. Let us consider two complex numbers z1 and z2. z1 is equal to a plus ib. z2 is equal to c plus id. Now find the product z1 z2. It is equal to a plus ib into some c plus id. We can find the product a into c, ac, a into id, that is iad, then plus ib into c, ibc, then ib into id, that is I square bd, that is ac plus, here in these two terms I is common, so I into ad plus bc. I square value is minus 1. I is root, I is equal to root minus 1. So I square will be equal to minus 1. So if we put the value minus 1, we get minus 1 into BD, that is minus BD. Now we can rearrange the real part and imaginary part separately. AC minus BD, the real part, then plus I into AD plus BC, the imaginary part. So this will be the product. So Z1, Z2 will be equal to AC minus BD plus I into AD plus BC. Clear? Let us consider an example. 5 minus 4i into 2 plus I. 5 2s are 10. 5 into I, 5i. Minus 4i into 2, minus 8i. Minus 4i into plus I, minus 4i square. That is 10. 5i minus 8i, minus 3i. Minus 4 into I square is minus 1. So 10 minus 3i, then plus 4. 10 plus 4 is 14. So 14 minus 3i. Okay. So this is very much similar to the polynomial multiplication, the point-wise multiplication. Okay. Now we shall discuss the properties of multiplication. As in the case of addition, here also some properties are there. First one is the closure law. Okay, in addition, we said that the sum of two complex numbers is again a complex number. That is what is called the closure law. So here what we can say, the product of two complex numbers is again a complex number. Okay, so if Z1 and Z2 are two complex numbers, then the product Z1 into Z2 is again a complex number. This is what is called a closure property or closure law. Okay, for any two complex numbers Z1 and Z2, Z1 into Z2 is again a complex number. Then the second one is the commutative law. Instead of plus, here we can put the into mark. Okay, so Z1 into Z2 equal to Z2 into Z1. We can take the product of two complex numbers in any order. Okay, Z1 into Z2 is equal to Z2 into Z1. For any two complex numbers Z1 and Z2, Z1 into Z2 will be equal to Z2 into Z1. This is called a commutative law. Next one is associative law or associative property. For any three complex numbers Z1, Z2 and Z3, Z1 into Z2 into Z3 will be equal to Z1 into Z2 Z3. Okay, we can find the product of three complex numbers in any order. Okay, and the fourth one is existence of multiplicative identity. Multiplicative identity. Additive identity is 0. Here multiplicative identity is 1. So the complex number 1 plus 0i or I0, or simply we can say the number 1. 1 is known as the multiplicative identity for a complex number Z such that Z into 1 is equal to Z. Okay, if we multiply any complex number by the complex number 1 plus I0, we will get the same result. Z into 1 is equal to Z. So the number 1 or 1 plus 0i can be treated as what? The multiplicative identity for complex numbers. Clear? And the fifth one is multiplicative inverse. It's very important. Multiplicative inverse. If Z is a complex number, then 1 by Z. 1 by Z is known as the multiplicative inverse of Z, because Z into 1 by Z will be equal to the multiplicative identity 1. So if it satisfies this condition, we can say that 1 by Z is the inverse of multiplicative inverse of Z. Okay, and 1 by Z can be written as Z raised to minus 1. Okay, it's another notation of multiplicative inverse, Z inverse. We read it as Z inverse. Okay, and there is a formula to find the multiplicative inverse of a complex number that we can derive. Okay, let us take the complex number a plus ib. Z is equal to a plus ib, and Z inverse we know 1 by Z. So here we can substitute the value 1 by a plus ib, and in order to change it into standard form, we have to multiply both numerator and denominator by a minus ib. Okay, so here a minus ib, a plus ib into a minus ib. That is Z inverse equal to a minus ib divided by, here the denominator is of the form a plus b into a minus b. A plus b into a minus b. What is the identity? A square minus b square. So here we can write a square minus ib the whole square. That is a minus ib divided by a square. I square is minus 1, minus into minus plus. So a square plus b square. Here we can split the denominator, a by a square plus b square, then plus I into This minus we can write here minus b by a square plus b square. Okay, so this is the formula to find what Z inverse. It's very important. You have to by heart this formula. Z inverse is equal to a by a square plus b square plus I into minus b by a square plus b square. Understood? Now there is one more property, the distributive law. So the sixth one is the distributive law. So we take any three complex numbers Z1, Z2 and Z3. We can write Z1 into Z2 plus Z3 will be equal to Z1, Z2 then plus Z1, Z3. And the second one is Z1 plus Z2 into Z3 will be equal to Z1, Z3 then plus Z2, Z3. So for any three complex numbers Z1, Z2 and Z3 we have Z1 into Z2 plus Z3 equal to Z1, Z2 then plus Z1, Z3. Okay. It is known as the left distributive law. And the second one is the right distributive law. Z1 plus Z2 into Z3. Here also we can multiply and remove the bracket. Z1, Z3. Then plus Z2, Z3. Okay. So these are the properties related to multiplication of complex numbers. Clear? Now we move on to the fourth operation, division. Okay. So let us take two complex numbers Z1 and Z2. If Z2 is not equal to 0, then the quotient Z1 by Z2 is defined by Z1 by Z2 is equal to Z1 into 1 by Z2. We all know division is the reverse process of what? Multiplication. So we can write Z1 by Z2 as Z1 into 1 by Z2. 1 by Z2 means what? The inverse of what? Z2. Okay. Let us take one example. Some 2 plus I divided by 1 minus I. Okay. So here this can be written as 2 plus I into 1 by 1 minus I. 1 by 1 minus I. 1 by Z we have formula. Z inverse equal to what? A by A square plus B square plus I into minus B by A square plus B square. So here also we can write 2 plus I into A by A square plus B square. 1 by 1 square plus minus 1 the whole square. Then plus I into minus B by. So here B is minus 1. So minus of minus 1 divided by 1 square plus minus 1 the whole square. Okay. It is equal to 2 plus I. Then here we can write 1 by 1 square plus 1 square. 1 plus 1 2. Then plus here minus of minus plus I into at 1 by 2. Okay. And here 2 is the common denominator. So this can be written as 2 plus I into 1 plus I the whole divided by 2. This 2 we can write first. 1 by 2 into 2 plus I into 1 plus I. This we can multiply. 1 by 2 into 2 into 1 2. 2 into I 2I. I into 1 I into I square. Okay. So 1 by 2 into 2 plus 3I square is minus 1. So 1 by 2 into 2 minus 1 is 1. 1 plus 3I. Or we can write it in standard form as 1 by 2 plus I into 3 by 2. Now it is in the form A plus IB. Okay. Here also like subtraction there is no properties related to division. Okay, so these are the important facts you have to remember in the session algebra of complex numbers. Okay, now we shall discuss the topic powers of I. We know the value of I as root of -1. Let us take the powers. I square of -1 the whole square, and that will be equal to what? -1. And I cube. I cube can be written as I square into I. I square is -1, so -1 into I. That will be equal to -I. And I power 4. I raised to 4 can be written as I square into I square. That is -1 into -1, and that will be equal to +1. And one more is 1 by I. Here we can multiply both numerator and denominator by I. 1 into I is I into I is I square. That is I by I square value is -1. I by -1, that will be equal to -I. So these four values you have to by heart. That is I square is equal to -1. I cube is equal to -I. I raised to 4 is equal to 1. And 1 by I is equal to -I. If you know these four values, you can easily find any powers of I. Okay. So here take the fourth power. I power 4 is equal to 1. And if we have to find I power 7, what we can do? This can be written as I raised to 7 can be written as 4 plus 3. That is I power 4 into I power 3. I power 4 is 1, and I cube we know -I. So overall the answer is what? -I. Okay. And there is a simple rule for that. I raised to 4k is equal to what? 1. I raised to 4k means the multiple of 4. Here I raised to 4 is 1. So in each and every multiple of 4, we get the answer as what? 1. So I power 4k equal to 1. And what about I power 4k plus 1? It will be equal to I raised to 1. That is I. And I power 4k plus 2. That will be equal to what? I raised to 2. And I raised to 4k plus 3 will be equal to I cube. Okay. That means we can generalize like that. I raised to 4k plus r will be equal to I raised to r, where r is the remainder obtained when dividing the power by 4. 4k, that means the multiple of 4, then plus r, remainder. Okay. Let us consider an example. We have to find I raised to 42. Here we have to divide 42 by 4. 42 by 4. 10 times 2 is the remainder. So this will be equal to I square. And I square we know the value of what? -1. So we can easily write -1. Then I raised to 27. 27 we have to divide it by 4. 6 4s are 24. Okay, 3 balance. So I raised to 3. And what is I raised to 3? I cube is -I. Okay. That's why I already told you, if you know these four values, you can easily solve every problem. Clear? Next topic is the square roots of a negative real number. How can we find the square root of a negative real number? For example, root of -3. This can be written as root of 3 into -1, and which is equal to root 3 into root -1. Root -1 is I, so root 3 I. Okay. And if it is root of -16, this can be written as root of 16 into -1, and that will be equal to root 16 into root -1, that is 4i. Root 16 is 4, so we can write 4, and root of -1 is what? I. And generally speaking, we can say for any positive number a, root of minus a will be equal to root a into I. Okay. For a positive real number a, root of minus a equal to root a into I. Clear? And we already know the formula, root of a b equal to root a into root b for all positive real numbers a and b. I think in 9th standard you have learned the concept, root ab is equal to root a into root b. Okay, and this is also true for here for all positive real numbers a and b means a greater than 0, b greater than 0, both are positive. And if a is greater than 0 and b is less than 0, this result also true. Okay, and one more situation is a less than 0 and b greater than 0. A is negative and b is positive. Okay, in these three situations the result hold true. That means root ab equal to root a into root b. Okay. What about if a is less than 0 and b is less than 0? Let's see. A less than 0 and b less than 0. Let us consider I square. I square can be written as I into I. Okay. I value is root minus 1. Again root minus 1. And if we apply this property, root ab equal to root a into root b. Root a into root b can be written as what? Root ab. Then what happened? In a single root we can write minus 1 into minus 1. And what is minus 1 into minus 1? It is plus 1. Root 1 and it gives the value as 1. That is I square will be equal to 1. This is a contradiction. Since I square is what? I square is equal to minus 1. Therefore what we can conclude? Root AB is not equal to root A into root B for all a less than 0 and b less than 0. Root ab is not equal to root a into root b. The result is not true when both a and b are negative. A less than 0 and b less than 0. Okay. Now we shall discuss the identities. We know the algebraic identities, namely a plus b the whole square, a minus b the whole square, and so on. Here also in the set of complex numbers, we can use that identities. Okay, z1 and z2 are any complex numbers. Then we can write z1 plus z2 the whole square, like a plus b the whole square. Okay, z1 square plus 2 z1 z2 then plus z2 square. Then a minus b the whole square. Here z1 minus z2 the whole square will be equal to z1 square minus 2 z1 z2 then plus z2 square. And z1 square minus z2 square, like a square minus b square, a plus b into a minus b. z1 plus z2 into z1 minus z2. And the next one is z1 plus z2 the whole cube, a plus b the whole cube. Okay, so z1 cube plus 3 z1 square z2 then 3 z1 z2 square then plus z2 cube, a cube plus 3a square b plus 3ab square plus b cube. Okay, and the next one is z1 minus z2 the whole cube, a minus b the whole cube. So z1 cube, alternatively we can change the sign, minus 3 z1 square z2 then plus 3 z1 z2 square then minus z2 cube. This implies that we can apply all identities we have already learned in lower classes in the set of complex numbers too. The next topic is the modulus and conjugate of a complex number. Modulus and conjugate. It's a very important topic. At the same time, it's a very simple topic. Okay. Let us consider one complex number z is equal to a plus ib. Then the modulus of z is denoted by the symbol mod z. We read it as modulus of z or mod z. Okay. Which is equal to, the formula is root of a square plus b square. Mod z is equal to root of a square plus b square. Okay. For example, if z is equal to 3 plus 4i, then mod z will be equal to root of a square plus b square, that is 3 square plus 4 square, which gives root of 9 plus 16 is equal to root 25, and the value is what? 5. Okay. In this way we can solve any problem. Okay. So modulus of z is equal to root of a square plus b square. Clear? Now the next one is conjugate. Conjugate of a complex number. It's also very easy. Z is equal to a plus ib is a complex number. Then the conjugate is denoted by z bar. We write the letter z, then upon that we put a bar. Okay, we read it as z bar. Z bar. So z bar equal to a minus ib. We have to change the sign of the imaginary part. Remember, we have to change the sign of the imaginary part in order to get the conjugate. For example, z is equal to 2 minus 3i, then z bar will be equal to, we have to change the sign of the what? Imaginary part, 2 plus 3i. And if it is of the form z is equal to some 5 plus I, then z bar is equal to what? 5 minus I, and so on. Clear? So this is about modulus and conjugate of a complex number. And there are some properties regarding modulus and conjugate of a complex number that also we can discuss. For any two complex numbers z1 and z2, we can write the first property, modulus of z1 into z2 equal to modulus of z1 into modulus of z2. Okay, we can split the modulus. And the second one is modulus of z1 by z2, quotient form. So this can be written as mod z1 divided by mod z2, provided modulus of z2 is not equal to 0. Okay, while defining a fraction, we have to ensure that the denominator need not be 0. Okay, so modulus of z1 into z2 can be written as mod z1 into mod z2, and modulus of z1 by z2 equal to mod z1 divided by mod z2, provided mod z2 is not equal to 0. Clear? Third one is z1 into z2 the whole bar, conjugate, which gives z1 bar into z2 bar. Okay, and the next one is z1 plus or minus z2 the whole bar, which is equal to z1 bar plus or minus z2 bar. So it means z1 plus z2 the whole bar equal to z1 bar plus z2 bar, and z1 minus z2 the whole bar is equal to z1 bar minus z2 bar. Okay, and the last one is z1 by z2 the whole bar, which is equal to z1 bar by z2 bar, provided z2 is not equal to 0. The denominator is not equal to 0. Okay, so these are the properties regarding what? The modulus and conjugate of a complex number. Clear? So this is about the introduction of complex numbers and quadratic equation. In the next class, we will discuss exercise 5.1. So I think you understood the concept. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Thank you.